Raymond Franken, EUX TV. I followed Think About It from a little distance. I just wondered if you could reflect a little bit on the role that the bloggers played in the European elections. You've been analyzing the elections quite a bit, but I'd like to hear your views on your impact that you and your colleagues had on the outcome of the elections.
That's a perfect question because that's next on my list. We didn't plan this. So you've heard the question. The European blogosphere, which is in international comparative terms a rather small group of people, which is on this panel and and somewhere on some few other places, plus here in the audience. So would you say that the blogosphere had any role in this pre-electoral campaign process, or were we just communicating among ourselves? Just as you like.
A couple of small examples on that. Firstly, the British political parties provided such bad information about their candidates that I, on my own blog, received an enormous number of hits from people who were just looking for information about candidates. Who were the candidates? What were the background of the candidates? So I got an enormous amount of hits just purely on that, on information provision. So not kind of blogging about anything debating, just getting information out there and explaining what was going on to a greater extent than anyone else was doing. So that's the first thing. Secondly, there was a bit of a crossover between blogging and mainstream media. So there were a number of bloggers who, one way or another, were invited to give commentary, particularly in the UK on BBC radio and television, for example. So that was a second area. And the third thing was, again, to come back to the socialist thing and the president of the European Commission and the kind of coherency of European socialist parties. I know very well towards the Party of European Socialist office and the socialist group in Brussels that essentially all of the pressure that was done among activists online, some bloggers, but some writing on the website of the Party of European Socialists, undoubtedly pushed Poul Rasmussen to react, at least in public, against that critique which was raised most potently online, first and foremost. So it wasn't something directly European elections, but it was something kind of around the European elections. So that kind of whole pressure about should the parties nominate a candidate to be president of the Commission, a lot of that came from online pressure. So there are a few small bits and pieces, but look at it, I think the same for Think About It, the same for my own blog, the same for EU media like Euractiv or EU Observer. The total number of visitors every day in the whole, anything that's specialised on EU affairs is relatively low. So the total overall impact is therefore correspondingly relatively low.